Dear students, in last classes we learned fertility rates, CBR, ASFR, GFR, TFR, and growth rates, GRR, NRR, and mortality rates, CDR, ASDR, STDR, IMR, NMR, and MMR. So these are the certain rates which we learn. So one more important topic, that is life table, which we are going to learn today. So what is this life table? So life table, it's a table prepared by studying the events occurring in human population, that is especially births and deaths. So whenever a person take birth, so in the nation or in a particular location, if you consider, just not one or two babies take birth in a day. So thousands together, lakhs together will take birth on same day in different places. So all together we put in one single table and we just go on studying them. So how long they survived or lived on earth. For example, if we take, suppose 2001 January 1, on this date how many persons took birth? So all of them we put in one single table. So on January 1 2001, so total approximately 50,000 live births take place, irrespective of their gender, male and female both. And when we passed 1 year, that is 2002 January 1, then how many are alive? How many of them died? So out of the total live births in 2001 January 1, how many are still alive in 2002 January 1? Then we mention them. So these many died and these many are alive. Then next year again, 2003 January 1. So out of the people who survived in the 2002, so how many are there alive, or how many of them died during the year? So we leave them and we continue the table. So we continue this table until all of the persons who born on January 1st died. Suppose 50,000 persons, children take birth on 2001. So all of them one by one, year by year, so number of persons may go on dying, or in between no person may die. Suppose after 60 year, 2081 January 1, 2 persons are still alive. And until that 2 persons dies, the table continues. Suppose one person dies at the age 70 and another person survived till 100 years, that is 2121 January 1, still he survived. So table continues till that age. So here, until each person which we put in that table dies, table continues here. So why we study this? So this table gives us what is the death pattern, out of what number of live births are taking place. So out of those persons who born on the same day, who experience the same mortality conditions. Remember here, the person who born on one day or on same time. So say 1 year, if you don't take just one day, suppose in the span of 1 year. So Vargyevaru anta ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. So same age persons. So their mortality conditions will be same. We can't compare mortality condition of a newborn baby and 10-year children and 50-year adult and above 60 age old age person. No. The chances of dying is more for the aged person, that is above 60. Compared to him, chances of dying is less to the 50-year person. And chances of dying is very less to 10-year-old person. And again, chances of dying is sometimes more and sometimes less for the newborn baby. If he get medical advancement and nutrition food, he may survive. If he doesn't, that child may die. So here this table study that how the people, how the babies which born are surviving, how long they are surviving. So we put all persons who born on the same time in one table, so whose mortality conditions are same. So what is this life table? What our definition tells here? So here life table, it gives, so life table gives the life history of cohort as it is gradually diminished by deaths. So here it is telling that it gradually diminishes how the persons dies. So if the number of persons every year they go on reducing. Okay, so what is this life table? Life table describes the mortality and survival pattern of the population. Survival pattern of the population. Okay, so it provides the most complete description of mortality in any population. Any population, if you take, it gives more complete description of the population. So it is a key summary tool for assessing and comparing mortality conditions existing in the population. So here both assessing and comparing mortality conditions. So if you compare country to country or location to location, the death pattern differs here. The people in India, earlier age, if you refer, the average life of the person was more than 60-80 years. The persons who survived for 100 years also. But when during the colonial years, when Britishers were ruling, our average life was around 40 to 45 years. And now it has crossed 60 years. And compared to other countries where nutrition, food and various things are not available, their death pattern is different. The dying chances are more for even a 10-year aged person. So here it studies that with help of which we can compare with other locations also. So the record begins at the birth of each member. Record begins each member and continues until all have died. It gives the age distribution of mortality in tabular form and is powerful tool for measuring the probability of life and death of individuals in various age sectors. So here it gives power so that we can measure the probability of life and death here. So life table are generally constructed for various section of people. So various section also we can prepare here. So upper class people, middle class people, slum people, so various class people, so that we can study them deeply and gradually have different patterns of mortality. So here mortality pattern is different for slum people and it is different for middle class people and it is different for upper class people. So that also we can study here. Okay, so now we'll move to the definition. So life table is a tabular presentation of numerical data describing the mortality experience of a cohort. So finally here life table is a tabular presentation of numerical data describing mortality experience of cohort, mortality experience, death experience. So how the people are dying, at what age, how many people are dying. So which age is riskier? So those are things we can study here. And they mention the term as cohort, mortality experience of a cohort. Then what is cohort? So cohort is a group of individuals who are born at the same time and who experience the same mortality condition. So who are born at the same time, it doesn't mean that according to the clock. So if a person born at 1 o'clock, all persons who born at 1 o'clock, no. So at one particular time span which we refer, for example 1 year. So 2001 January 1 to 2031 December 31. 2001 December 31. So 1 year span. So during this span, how many people take birth? So all of them will be put in one single table. Maybe we can divide them according to certain conditions, maybe gender wise, or maybe their section wise, or group religion wise, or maybe their class wise, upper class, middle class, like that. Okay, so again next one more term comes here, that is radix. Radix is the size of a cohort. So say cohort is a group of people who born at the same time and who experience the same mortality condition. Obviously those who born at the same time may experience the same mortality conditions. Okay, so for example, if you take the persons who born in the year 1900, so their mortality experience is different from our mortality experience here. The person who born on 1900 year, they faced World War I, World War II, and many diseases, plague, cholera, and many things, financial crisis, everything. Okay, but today those who born in 2000, so they are not facing these all things. So mortality condition of those are different from mortality conditions of the person who born in the 2000. And even country to country. Now if you take the situation of Afghanistan, their mortality condition is pattern is totally different now. And in India it is different. In America it is different. Okay, so there we take then whatever we take in a cohort by dividing or segregating. So that size is fixed here, that is 1 lakh in general. We make a group of 1 lakh children who born at the same time. We put them in one table and we study them. And the next term is longevity. So what is this longevity? So longevity is the expected number of years that a newborn baby would live. Newborn baby. So how long it will survive? How long? How many years? So today one baby took birth. So up to what age it may survive? 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 100 years, or just 40 years. So that is what here longevity. So uses of life table. First, life table are used by life insurance companies to determine the rates of premium for policies of persons of different ages. So life table provides us at what age how many people are dying out of 1 lakh people, or if you study individual ages also, in which age people are dying more in numbers. So it gives that information. By considering that information here, it helps to the insurance company people to fix the insurance premium amount. So death rate is more at old age. So if you are having a insurance policy, so you may experience that your father's or mother's premium is more than your premium. And even your grandfather's insurance premium is more than your parents' premium. So death risk is more how a person get old age. Okay, so how ages passes, the death risk is more. So here that pattern will be given by insurance company, which may change from country to country, location to location. So for our location, what is the death pattern? So by taking that into consideration, insurance company will fix the insurance premium. Next, it is used for measurement of growth of population in computation of net reproduction rate. So already we calculated the NRR, net reproduction rate. There we used survival ratio to find accurate growth rate. So survival rate is given by life table here. And next, it is used for estimating the future population. So even for the future population estimation, life table is used. And it is used by government and private organization in planning healthcare retirement age and educational programs. So now very recently we heard that our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji increasing the age of retirement. Why they are increasing? Because here the average life of the person is more. It has increased in India. So when we got independence, the average life of Indians was up to 40 to 45 years. Now it has increased to more than 60 years, 65 years. So obviously if we increase the retirement age, it will benefit to the government. Otherwise they will sit in a home and government has to pay pension for them. So to avoid that here, government has, so to take such decisions also and to fix even healthcare policies and even educational programs. So recently we are hearing our news about education policy. New education policy is coming. So there everything has been changed, and time to time it has been always changed when as and when government and society feels different things in education or advancement or due to the advancement in the mentality of the people. So government has changed. So with life table helps in taking such decisions here. And last point is, it is used for analyzing the effects of mortality on the age and the sex composition of the population. So which is one of the important point here, age and sex composition of the population. So nowadays even it is in the news that in Karnataka, per 1,000 men population, around 950 females were there. So this is the gap. For 1,000 men, 950 women. So here men and female are not in equal ratio. Even if you compare, if you take of India, it was around 900. For 1,000 men, there are around 900 women are there. So we can study here. And again we can study that in which gender, how many people are dying. Whether male are dying more or females are dying more. So that we can take different, government can make different policies here. Okay. So next comes components of life table. Okay, what are the components here? So our life table having 8 columns in total here. So one by one we will learn them. So first column is X, that is even I can say age of the person. A newborn baby's age is not 1, it is a 0. So 0 indicates newborn babies who born in this year, they are put there. Usually that is what? 1 lakh. Okay, and LX is the second column. Okay, that is the number of persons living at age X. So age 0 means newborn baby, they are 1 lakh. So usually in one table we put 1 lakh children. So age X0, L0 is 1 lakh. Then age 1. So after 1 year, so age 1, L1. So if any persons died, any newborn baby died during the year, we reduce them and we write how many are existing. So here, out of 1 lakh, suppose 100 children have died. So 99,900 we mention in L1. So likewise we go on reducing here L1, how many persons dying. Next third column is DX. So D indicates here deaths. So X indicates the age. So D0. So in that year, newborn babies, how many are were died, that we mention there. So DX is the number of persons among LX, persons reaching age X who die before reaching age X plus 1. So X plus 1 means age 0. So newborn babies reaching X plus 1, that is before reaching 1 year. How many of them died? Those figures will be mentioned in third column by name DX. And next comes QX. So QX is probability that a person of exact age X years will die before reaching the age X plus 1. That is during their 1 year span, how many children died here. So which I take example here 100. So L0 age x 0, L naught 1 lakh, so D naught is 100. So Qx, that is Q naught is equal to 100 divided by 1 lakh into 1000. Not into 1000 here, we are not finding the rate, in just 100 divided by 1 lakh. So we get the probability of death, that is mortality, Qx. And if we deduct it by 1 minus Qx, we get Px, that is the probability of survival. How many? That is, even if in another way, if you take 1 lakh minus 100, that is 99,900. So 99,900 divided by 1 lakh. So we get what? Survival rate here. And next columns comes capital LX. So capital LX, what is capital LX? And TX and EX. So just we'll learn them. So capital LX, the sixth column, the number of years lived, that is in the aggregate by the cohort of L naught. So persons between age x and age x plus 1, that is the average of persons who lived. So age x, that is L naught is 1 lakh and L1 is 99,900. So average persons in aggregate, how many lived in that age? So LX plus 1 divided by 2, that is 1 lakh plus 99,900 divided by 2. So we get average, capital LX is 99,950. Okay, and next comes TX, capital TX. So total number of years lived by the cohort after attaining age X. So here capital TX tells that total future lifetime of a cohort, that is how many years in aggregate, that is LX plus 1 plus LX plus 2. So here from bottom to top, that is I can say in simple words, that is more than cumulative frequency. So here more than cumulative is taken after reaching certain age. So here cumulative is taken, so that we can study how many years, that total number of years lived by total cohort year. Okay, next last term and one of the important terms, that is EX. EX is expectation of life. So expectation of life is average number of years a person of age X can be expected to live under the prevailing mortality conditions. So here don't confuse with the longevity. Longevity just it tells that how many years a newborn baby will live, whereas expectation of life is average age of the person, average number of years a person of age X may survive, that is age X, that is any year. So longevity tells a newborn baby. So the person who born, the baby which took birth today will survive for how long, that will be studied in longevity. That is said by what? Longevity. But expectation of life tells that any age person if you take, so it will tell how long he will survive from today. It may be newborn baby, it may be 10-year-old baby, or it may be a 50-year-old adult person. So if you take 50-year-old person, so here expectation of life tells that he will survive another 10 or another 20 or 30 years. If we take a newborn baby, so it will be survive another 60 or 70 years, like that. So expectation of life is the average number of years a person of age X can be expected to live under prevailing mortality conditions. So here formula to calculate that is EX is equal to TX divided by LX. TX, that I said more than cumulative we take. So to that total we divide it by LX for that particular age, how many people are surviving. Divide, we take in the denominator part. So next comes the problems, so which will solve them on board. Here we have a problem. In a life table, if L1 is 95,400 and L2 is 93,492, then find D1. So D1 is deaths at the age X, that is L1 is given, so D1 at age X, what is age 1, how many are deaths. And next mortality ratio and survival ratio, and also find LX, capital LX. So here remember one thing always, they have given L1 and L2 here. L1, L2, that is after first year and second year. So L0 is newborn babies, L0, and usually L0 is 1 lakh. And how age passes, L1 comes, so we skip the children who died before reaching age 1. Then L2 is the number where we deduct all the person who died before reaching their second year after reaching first year. So here L1, L2, how the suffix increases, the figure decreases here. So that is diminishing. So first dx here. So what is the formula to find the dx? So here first question, dx, that is number of deaths, dx is equal to lx minus lx plus 1. So lx, L1 they are given, that is lx plus 1, that is 1 plus 1 is L2. So L2. So D1 is equal to 95,400 minus 93,492. So we get D1 is equal to 95,400 minus 93,492. So we get 1,908. Second, what they ask? Second, mortality ratio. So mortality ratio is nothing but Qx. So Qx is equal to dx divided by lx. Dx divided by lx. So Q1 is equal to D1. D1 is 1908 divided by lx. Lx is 95,400. So we get 0.02. So 1908 divided by 95,400, 0.0. Next, third question is survival ratio. Survival ratio is Px. So Px is equal to 1 minus Qx. So remember here, both Qx and Px are probabilities for life table, and summation of probabilities of all x values is here equal to 1. So here only we have two probabilities, that is one death and another survival. So Px plus Qx, if you add, we get total 1. So Px is equal to 1 minus Qx. So P1 is equal to 1 minus Qx. Qx is 0.02. So P1 is equal to 0.98. So to find another way here, to find Px, another way is, so I will write here, Px is equal to Lx plus 1 divided by Lx. So P1 is equal to Lx plus 1 is 93,492 divided by 95,400. We get 0.98. And last question is capital Lx. Fourth question, Lx. So capital Lx, it is nothing but the average of the person lived during the year. That is average of beginning the year and at the end of the year population. So Lx is equal to, one formula is Lx minus dx divided by 2. So Lx is 95,400 minus, that is L1 is defined, L1 is 95,400 and D1 is 1,908 divided by 2. So 95,400 minus 1,908 divided by 2 is 954. So 95,400 minus 954 is 94,446. The average person who lived at the age 1 are 94,446. So this also we can find with another way, another formula, that is Lx is equal to L1 Lx plus 2 divided by 2. So that is 95,400 plus 93,492 divided by 2. If you do, we get 94,446. So these are the most expected question. All will not be asked. They may ask you survival ratio or mortality ratio or LX. And the next question what they may ask is expectation of X. So expectation of X, their capital TX and LX will be given. So with help of which we can find expectation of life. So let us solve one problem on that. Here we have two problems. Let us solve one by one. So first here in the life table, T naught is equal to 65 lakh years. Then find longevity. So here T naught is given. T naught means here T for age 0. That is beginning of the table. So always remember here for T naught or whatever may be. So here L naught will be always 1 lakh. If they have not given L naught is 1 lakh always. So here formula to find T naught. So T naught is equal to EX. So EX here longevity means expectation of life, expectation of X here. EX is equal to TX divided by LX. So here they have given E naught. E naught is equal to T naught is 65 lakh divided by 1 lakh. So all zeros will get cancelled. What is here 65. So expectation of life at age 0 is 65 years. So always remember L naught always 1 lakh. That is radix size of the cohort is 1 lakh. Next second question, in the life table L1 is 95,400 and T1 is 61,05,600. Then find expectation of life for the first year. So here again the same formula. Here T naught is given. So L naught not given, that is 1 lakh. And here T1 is given along with L1. So here also formula EX is equal to TX divided by LX. So E1 is equal to T1 is 61,05,600 divided by L1 is 95,400, that is equal to 64. So expectation of life for first year is 64 years. So as I said while discussing the theory, that is longevity is different and expectation of life is different. Longevity tells that a newborn baby how many years it may live, that is LX. Here E naught. So E naught tells that a newborn baby will survive for 65 years. And expectation of X. So E of X here for any age we can find EX. So here after 1 year. So out of 1 lakh certain persons died, and for the first year 95,400 are surviving. So at this age we can find here these 95,400 children will survive for how long? So by the calculation it has said that the persons in age 1 can live for next 64 years. So this is how we calculate expectation of X here. So by here we complete our first chapter, vital statistics. So in first chapter we discussed definition, uses of vital statistics and its merits, demerits, fertility rates, growth rate, mortality rate, and finally life tables. From life table you may expect 1 mark and 2 mark one question only. So either it will come for 1 mark or 2 marks. And from entire chapter we get 1 marks 1 question, 2 marks 1 question, 5 marks 1 question, and 10 marks one question in annual exam. And we solve few more problems which are special, which we may not get from the textbook in our next session.